And these things are like pointing towards God having qualities. So if God exists, I'm saying. So what other can we focus on other qualities? Well, there must be. Now, just to give you a clue, let's say I'm ultra powerful and I'm ultra intelligent and I have no love. What would potentially be the result of that, do you think? Right, if you...
Self-destruction.
Well, potentially
Eventually.
or destruction of everything.
Beforehand, of course.
Yeah. So there has to be, you could say, in between these qualities, there has to be another quality, and that is the quality of wisdom. The ability to use knowledge in a manner that's beneficial. Can you see that? Because you see all these movies nowadays, and the big powerful beings are all reckless, aren't they? Have you noticed that? And yet, if that was actually, if God was a big powerful being and all reckless, then where would we be? We would be wrecked, wouldn't we? We'd be gone. So there has to be, if God exists, there has to be some wisdom there. Wisdom is the practical application of intelligence. Has to be present. Yep.
And other qualities would be that God is totally or most likely consistent.
Yes, so
and consequent.
One of the things we haven't considered here is the issue of law, isn't it? Laws. For there to be predictability in any universe, laws must govern it. Isn't that true? Now, if God is the creator of the universe, then that means that God is also predictable. Is it Ibble or Abel? Constant. Reliable. Consistent. Right? That is indicated by the creations that are existing. There is consistency in them. The only time something changes is if a force is brought towards the change. Other than that, change doesn't happen in the universe. It's only when a force is brought towards something that change occurs. So if that's the case, then it tends to indicate that for change to originally occur, there had to be a force governing it. And what was that force? Well, again, the only real explanation is this being called God. Now, I just said that God was a being. What evidence is there that that is true? Mia, you want to have a go?
That in the design there seems to be intention, so governed by some kind of desire. So that
when you say there seems to be, have you got any evidence?
Well, for myself, when I was studying industrial design, I could see that if you design something and you don't really care and you don't really have an intention, usually you end up with something that doesn't work very well.
Doesn't work at all, usually.
or that doesn't work for long, or that's not, that might work but is not beautiful. Like this, things that are inconsistent, and that there really needs some intention so that things actually get created in a way that it works. And so it's the, intention or desire.
Yep. Okay. Thanks.
That we are beings, the evidence.
Yeah, that's very interesting, isn't it? Because we are self-aware beings. Because we're not just beings, are we? We are beings who are aware we're beings. which is very different to what an animal actually is, right? So we are self-aware. The fact that we are self-aware would naturally presume that if there's a God, the God must also be self-aware. Does that logic?
Well, and now, but aren't we now putting human traits onto God, which we said at the beginning we weren't going to do?
No, God needs to have qualities. A quality must exist in the creator if the quality exists in the creation. Isn't that like you can't design something that you don't have, right? So if God creates love, for example, then God must have love. If God creates like predictability, constancy, then that means God is constant. If God creates self-aware beings, then it means God must be self-aware, right? To a greater extent than we are. Every quality must be to a greater extent than we are, right? So let's put self-aware.